And welcome back to episode... You want to clap?
Oh, sorry.
Welcome back to episode 54 of The Hunt. Today's a very special episode. I have one of my longest standing clients, one of my longest standing female clients, my best female client, in terms of IPF points and however you want to call it. But you're also good in other aspects as well, Sammi.
Thanks.
But yeah, Samantha Kratz, everyone. Big round of applause. Welcome for coming on the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm excited for this because, as I said, you've been with me since, COVID? A bit before COVID?
Yeah, a bit before COVID.
I think I was in Cairns at the time when we started.
I think you were in Melbourne at the first time. I messaged you. You were doing my nutrition. And then COVID hit and you...
Were you powerlifting at the time though?
We're having a break.
Yeah.
Me and powerlifting.
You were having a break, yeah. And then you came full circle and now you're back and fighting your way to the top.
Sure.
But as I've already said, I've been with Sammi for a very long time, and I've seen Sammi go through many different transitions of her life, not just professionally as a lifter, but as a mother as well. And I thought, what better way to have an episode with the one and only to talk about being a full-time mum / powerlifter / ED nurse, because I'm sure many people out there would be interested to just hear you, because is this your first episode as a podcastee?
I've never done anything like
Any
this.
public speaking?
Never.
Never?
Public speakings,
yeah,
but not about me.
That's okay. Well, I'm very happy to be the first to have you on. So a quick snapshot of Sammi. Full-time mum, as I said. She works in critical care at the Dandenong ED, and she recently completed her certificate and transition to specialty practice in critical care. And she somehow, alongside all those things, trains like an absolute savage. So I guess, like, origin story, we want to just hear, I guess, where powerlifting came into the equation for you, because that was probably the first thing out of those three things that you've taken seriously, right?
Yeah.
So where did powerlifting start for you?
So background-wise, I used to play basketball, representative basketball, played over in the States as a very young girl.
What position?
An annoying point guard. So played that. I tore every ligament in my knee possible when I was about 20. It was just after my 21st birthday. So I was still doing like gym stuff prior to that, but nothing powerlifting based. Part of my rehab was with a powerlifting coach, Jamie Smith. Melbourne Strength Culture.
Let's go.
Someone that I knew recommended them, and I went to Jamie, and they just opened the first ever Strength Culture. And I said, would you be keen to do my rehab? I've got no idea what I'm doing. And it just went from there.
Yeah.
It was, powerlifting based, and then started competing. Now we...
So you kind of just got fed into like the system of powerlifting through Melbourne Strength Culture, because I've worked professionally with Jamie before, and it was around when I was with you for nutrition. And back then they were huge on like postural restoration, rehab, all that sort of stuff. And you just kind of fell into that. And then because they were a powerlifting gym, you just fell into that. And now you take it seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How were you when you first started? Like, were you strong?
I compete my first competition, probably not so much.
Yeah.
I ended up going to junior states, I think it was, and I think I came like second.
Yep.
But that was back in the day.
Yep.
And then sort of went traveling and did all of that, but like nothing, never international, never like blowing stuff out of the water or anything like that.
Yeah. Because when I was with you for nutrition, it was very much so like cutting for Europe and like going into a bulk. And I guess when COVID hit and gyms closed down, you were getting mostly like that semi-private service, right? Like that face-to-face sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think by then I had stopped with the Culture Boys and was just doing it myself.
At Fitness First.
I was training at a commercial gym, Fitness First, which is also where I worked. And just, had a massive sort of break where I was doing it myself. And then COVID hit and you'd been doing my nutrition, and we had a home gym. And you just kind of said, well, let me coach you and just see what happens. You've got nothing better to do. And just went from there.
Yeah, I actually like, I don't distinctively remember like when I made that suggestion, but I remember that like you invested in a full like gym setup, and like thankfully, obviously, like Seb, your husband at the time, like he, wait, were you married by then? Fiance.
Yeah,
We can't remember.
Yeah, no.
Seb would be like, "Fuck at this date." But like, you invested in a home gym setup, and I remember like watching you like still train, and I was like, "Fuck, she's pretty good at this." Like, I actually wouldn't mind if I could just like flirt the idea. You know what? Like, let's just like, I'm happy just to do a couple of sessions for you here and there, and it kind of one thing led to another, and who knows? Like 5 years later, we're still doing it, and yeah, like that's really sick, and I guess that beginning of like being able to like program for you really has kind of like led me along the way of your life path as well. So obviously you did get married after that point.
Yeah.
And you were studying and you graduated.
Yeah.
And then you went pretty much straight into full-time work.
Yeah. So my grad year as a nurse, I went full-time because we had the wedding, we purchased a house, had a mortgage, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So we just kind of, while I was young and able as a crit care nurse, we just kind of decided to do the full-time thing. So
yeah. And you're probably like looking at the money and being like, fucking hell, it's about time I can start making some money.
yeah, it was nice to be out of uni and nice to be earning some real money.
Gosh. And then how did your firstborn come along? Because like, I guess let's cast our mind back to, I think it was 2022 Nationals or 2023 in Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
When was that?
22, I think it was.
22. That was probably like your first like real competitive year. You were competing in the 57s. I was still doing your nutrition at the time and training. And I guess like you had mentioned to me like, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I would love to have a child soon. You know what I mean? Like Seb and I are talking about it, and you've done the whole like classic Australian dream, buy a home, you know, you get a full-time job and you're about to have your firstborn and go to Powerlifting Nationals, which is obviously including the Australian dream. But you went to Nationals and you had a pretty good day. I think you went 8 for 9. You missed one squat.
I missed one squat and then my last deadlift.
Yeah. But you still went, I think it was 400 or something like that. It's so long, 3 years ago. But anyway, you came third overall in your first Nationals. And people obviously at the time like had no idea who you were. But people still don't know who the hell you are, which is crazy. But the thing is that you came third. I think who was the girl that pulled Swole Mop? I actually don't know her name. That's her Instagram handle. No, not Therese. Not Teresa Tang. Swole Mop. I know people's Instagram handles, but I don't know their full names. But anyway, Swole Mop pulled to be ahead of you.
Yeah.
And obviously Liz Craven was like still at like kind of like the peak of her career, and obviously took out first place. But that was the first competition that I remember that really kind of like put you on the map. Yeah, we missed our squat and deadlift, but we came straight back into it, you know, and we're like, you know what, we want to really hit this thing hard and actually do what you can do before we see you fall pregnant. Long behold, the weekend of the showdown, you don't only just fall pregnant, but you also total, I think it was like 407.5, which was like, I think at the time, one of the highest totals at 57 below Liz Craven. And that was kind of like your final send-off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
okay, we achieved this thing. You did it in like a little pink bob.
Yep.
That was at Hunter Showdown 2. And I remember like you mentioned to me, I think like a month later, you like announced that you obviously fell pregnant. And I was thinking like, fuck, this is like, am I going to, like, because at the time I was thinking I just lost my best lifter. I'm never going to see her again. Like she's never going to come back from this. But you've kind of like gone along this path of pre and postnatal, and you've redefined like what I believe women can do in terms of falling pregnant, because I think other than Liz and other than maybe like Meg Scanlon, and we've spoken about this, like there's so many women out there that have gone away, had kids, come back, bettered their performance, and even like by a long shot improved as an athlete. And I think that you're like one of like the current ones in Australia that's really redefining it and showing that confidence. And Tan sees that, my sister, who recently just had her first child. And and so many other women are probably seeing that as well. But this is why I wanted to get you on the show, because I think not enough people are seeing like the amazing stuff that you're doing, right? So I guess when you've eventually fell pregnant, like what was the plan? Because I knew like my plan in my head was like, okay, she's done. But you had a plan, you know what I mean? Like how did that start?
So fell pregnant. Or like I'm a massive Meg Scanlon fan. I followed her with her girls and her pregnancy. I remember her tagging Julia in all of her stuff on Instagram.
Pelvic Strong on Instagram.
Throughout her pregnancy. So I think at about 7 weeks or so, I got in contact with Julia and was like, hey, I'm pregnant. Please help. She ran through a lot of it with me, and I ended up seeing her online like consults until probably monthly until I was about 8 months or just before I gave birth. And she really helped with everything. I mean, she's an incredible person. She's great online. I've never actually met her face to face. But I said to her, like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to throw it in the bin. I want to keep training all through pregnancy, and she was really probably one of the first health professionals that I had experience with where she just didn't go, oh, well, that's it then. like you want to train, you want to do that, but you can't do that because everyone's Gen Pop and you can't be outside of your Gen Pop.
100%.
So it was nice to have sort of a professional on my team that knew what they were talking about and can kind of help me not be just put back in a box just because I was pregnant. And ended up training. So the night that my water broke, I actually
hit an incline PB.
Incline PB. And I think I hit like a double of like 140 squat.
High as fuck, but it was strong.
Still counts. And I honestly think that everything that Julia helped me with and sort of the training helped with birth. And it's just one of those things that kind of all fed into each other. So
it's easy now that you're on the other side of it because you've experienced it and like you've walked it. But like actually in the moment, were you like, did you buy in? Were you scared? Because I think the one thing that I remember from you was you would be sending me so much like Instagram posts about like other girls' experiences and they're showing you the light, like it's okay, it's going to be fine. But in the moment, were you genuinely scared?
I think I was just nervous. Like you don't see a lot of pregnant women training and then there's a lot of fear mongering around birth and like postpartum where it's like, oh, this and that. And it is Gen Pop. And when you're training and doing that sort of stuff, you're not a Gen Pop.
Yep.
So it's really hard to be surrounded by that and not feed into it a little bit.
Yep.
So it's just like you can't back yourself without sort of nothing behind you. Scared a little bit, nervous. What the hell am I doing? Like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of the exercises, like so I jumped on the calls with Julia and you, and I remember she was like telling you things that I simply cannot do because I don't have the things that deliver babies.
Kegels.
But I remember like the exercises, and I'm looking at them, and I'm just like, these are like how is this going to do anything? Like it's so low sensory, but like internally, like you've never had to make these contractions or like make these movements or positions that happen ever in your life. And the majority of powerlifting women that we know of have a hyperactive pelvic floor or just don't know how to use it at all. So you've probably come out of it way more knowledgeable and probably way more equipped for the next one. And like you're probably going to be way less stressed, which is probably going to result in a way less stressful, hopefully, pregnancy. But I guess that like kind of like segues to my next question. What are some things that you wished more people knew about postpartum lifting? Because I think a lot of misconceptions is like you're going to leak more, you're going to struggle to feel your brace. But I remember there was a point you did lose it, but it came back and you figured out new ways. What are some things that you wish people know more about postpartum lifting that people are potentially scared of?
I think specifically like stuff like bracing. I think my brace is better postpartum because of the breathing exercises that you do and have to do during pregnancy. I'll never forget one of the last sessions that I had with Julia, and she's like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to breathe. And I was like, sister, I've been doing it for like 28 years. And I remember during birth, I was like, oh, this is what she meant. Like I need to put that into practice. And then training is just your breathing and all that kind of stuff. I think just being able to trust yourself a little bit more. I think knowing that your body can do it and finding that team that doesn't just scoff in your face.
Yeah.
Like it's a big thing to turn around and be like, hey, I actually think like I'm not a piece of dirt. Like I'm not your average Joe that just goes to the gym. And having a team that sort of goes, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Let's not get you doing all this boring rehab and all that sort of stuff. Let's get you training with specificity and get you back to where you want to be.
And not overcomplicate it. Like, because I see, like, Julia's probably the only physio that I've worked with, but as you said at the start, a lot of physios tend to like shy away from continuing strength training.
Yeah.
But I would almost like comfortably say that like post or even during the actual moment of delivering birth, like you were probably well and truly equipped for that moment because you had kept training. Like, you know, and even post pregnancy now, like you've been able to like retain a lot of the structures that you would continue to train before and during pregnancy too. Like your oblique structure, like did your abs separate at all when you were?
I think a little bit.
Yep.
But nothing like beyond repair. Like
yeah. And like other things too, like leg strength. Obviously, we held on to that, and we focused on like building a bigger base in terms of shoulders, arms, and chest. And look at you now. You know what I mean? You got one of the biggest benches in the 57 open class. So that's really cool. Okay, this is also going to move into like our next segment, but I think the last question in terms of pregnancy and stuff like that, what changed for you postnatally in terms of like mental, physical, and emotional?
I think it's more important to do something for me. I think I'd always said during pregnancy is like, I don't want to be, not that there's anything wrong with it, I don't want to be one of those people that shuts themselves inside and is always with their baby. I wanted to be a mum and I wanted to still be Sam Kratz. I think it's really important for Björn to see that.
Yep.
And I just didn't want to be that person in 30 years time where I was like, oh, I wish I'd done that. And it was just,
you're still on the tit.
Yeah, just too late. You know, I just didn't want to be that person. And at times it still really is hard to be like, well, I've got a huge SBD session. Like, can you look after Bond kind of thing? It's very selfish. And I think working through that is really
Has that been hard?
Yeah, I think like I'm very much a person that takes everything on all the time. So if I have to ask someone to do something, I feel like the worst person. Yeah. But it's important. It's important for me to have an hour and a bit to myself because if I don't have that, then I'll be
cranky.
Yeah.
You don't want cranky Sam. I think Bjorn like is one of the most kindest gym etiquette members I've ever met in my life. He doesn't even pay for a membership. But he has got such good spatial awareness for what, a 1.5-year-old?
2 in August. So it's
2 in
like
August.
2-3 months away from being 2.
Like the kid knows, I mean, he's not even a kid, he's an infant. He knows where bars are. He knows how plates go on a bar. He knows where plates are meant to go in terms of when you're finished with them. And he even pulls up Seb. I remember last night Tan was explaining that Dad only yaps at the gym. Like he's yappa. And I just think like he's like socially, like can you see like what the gym's doing for him at such a young age? Yeah, it's building, like he's very confident. Like we have a really great group down at Peninsula Barbell where he will walk in and he's fist bumping everyone and doing all that kind of stuff. But it's like he's confident and he'll come and stand with us if he's like a little bit unsure and stuff like that, and that's fine. I mean, he's 2. Yeah. But
it's building his confidence, and for him to see us do that as well and other people is going to be so good for him when he gets a little bit older, because it means that no matter who you are, no matter female, male,
size,
no matter what,
Yep.
they're in the gym and they're doing this, and we're all supporting each other.
That's so important for such a young kid to learn, because how many times do you see young kids like enter an environment like daycare or preschool or kindergarten, and they're seeing all these different types of different types of people, and they're probably sensory overload. Whereas Bjorn's probably going to be like a couple steps ahead of that. And imagine what that's going to do for his like social ability, but also being able to focus on what you're there for.
And we always say like the gym isn't just like a physical, like you're going to the gym and you're looking after yourself. It's like you have to be disciplined, you have to be organized, strength, like physical strength, all that kind of stuff. But it's more than just you physically going to the gym and training for exercise. There's just so many more aspects to that. And he sees that and will hopefully carry over.
So it's one of those things like people say like, oh, you must be so like dedicated to all those other aspects in your life, like carrying over what you do inside the gym. And it's like, well, no, like everything I'm already doing in the gym is already shaped with the life I have right now. You know what I mean? So like if Bjorn's already experiencing that at what, fucking 20 months old, or not even, I can't even do my math, 22 months old, he's going to be so much further ahead of so many other people, which is amazing. I'm keen to see exactly where he goes. Like every single time he comes back up, or I go down there, or wherever we meet in the middle, he's always learnt about 100 new words or actions or tricks, or it's crazy. All right, let's move into like being elite while working in critical care. All right, and I use elite like quite wholeheartedly because I know you don't talk about yourself like that, but you are elite. What's it like being a full-time nurse in emergency? Like, what's the physical and emotional toll on your training?
Yeah, there is a toll. I think night shift's probably the biggest thing. I think I've tried the last 2 preps, gotten out of my night shifts, which really, really helps. But it's just one of those things. It's a job. I love my job to pieces. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. And it just, you do what you do. You go to work, you have your shift, whether it's good, bad, ugly, and you...
Well, I think we can probably jump in that a bit harder because, like, I know you say night shift is hard and every person knows night shift is hard, but, like, what about the times where, like, you've got people coming in with, like, that need acute care in terms of the emergency front line, and they're swearing at you, they're abusing you, they're hitting you. I'm sure people have hit you before. Like, how do you, I guess, like, confront that?
A bit of a bathroom cry. No, I think it like toughens you mentally. I can block a lot of stuff out. I think you're at work, you do your job. Probably more recently with everything outside, with like personal life, like having Björn, coming up for a competition, you do have those patients that have a huge risk of getting aggressive, and they do get aggressive. And
especially out at Dandenong, fucking hell.
Yeah, Dandy. You do just kind of go, fuck, if I get hit here, that's my life in the bin.
I won't be able to bench.
Yeah, can't bench. There goes my SPD day. Like it's, and you do think about that. But it's like a high stress environment
that you voluntarily put yourself in.
Yeah, I mean, I get paid for it, but but it's just one of those things. You get in the car after a shit shift and you have your big cry, and then you don't sleep for a week. And then you're just back on the horse. Like it's
one of those jobs where I've seen it hard for you to compartmentalize, because everything about your life is like, it's just one big life. Like your job's your life, your family's your life, your powerlifting's your life, and that's it. So I think any person would just be like, why can't you just like leave all your shit outside the gym when you fucking take your first step in the gym? Like no, like I'm still thinking about the gym when I'm at work, because I've got a big night shift where I have to wake up early in the morning on 2 hours sleep to do a fucking primary squat session, and then I've got to go to daycare, and then I've got to, you know what I mean? Like it's all kind of intertwined as one. And I think so many people are reaching so hard to compartmentalize and split it all apart. But I think the one thing that you do really well, and a lot of people could take away from this, is being able to make sure that everything flows and continues to work well together. Yeah, we may not hit the goals of your week 4 of your block because we know that you've had fuck all sleep, or we know that like the emotional toll that you've taken from your work. So we're not going to reach and overhit your RPEs, you know what I mean? Because we know it's going to be there next week when you've had a better week. And I think so many people, I guess, like put so much pressure on themselves to not keep it linear. I think that's one of the biggest attributes that we've had together is like we've come to the realization that we don't have to be so calculated with our programming. We just got to give the body what it wants in the moment, and then next week we'll deal with what the body wants then. You know what I mean? So I think that's a really cool insight. What about a tool for stability, structure, or escape from your work?
As in, what do I do?
Yeah, you mentioned that you have a cry. Surely there's some other things. Like, I think a lot comes down to the people you work around, right? Like those vulnerable moments of support, like in the clinic.
Yeah. So there's a group of like my little group at work.
Yep.
We always joke around like you have to be a very niche kind of person to
Are
be
they mums
working
too?
in ED. No. So my little group I did my grad year with, so we've been all together pretty much for like 4 years, and we all joke that we're now bonded for life through trauma. And it's just one of those things, like they love bond. One of my best friends, Casey, runs marathons, and I would never even think about a marathon or half maras or any of that, but she understands that.
Yep.
And that training, and like some of the girls always send each other is ice cream, but it's like
physical ice cream.
yeah, like
right.
oh no, like posts of Messina gelato. But it's like, oh, when you finished prepping, let's go and get ice cream.
That's so cute.
So I think having that support where we're all ranging in ages and we're all ranging in different like life experiences and stages, they're still there. I think that's super important. Just like if you do have a bad shift and they're there, you just, oh, this is what happened.
Yeah.
And it's just lingo that no one else would understand.
Yeah.
But they're there and then they seep into your personal
life,
outside life. And they're asking you about the gym and they're asking about all kinds of
That's
stuff.
sick. I think culture is so important.
Yeah, 100%.
In the workplace, in the gym, like
Yeah.
there's a reason why like you go to your big sessions at Peninsula, and I see the same people in those videos that you send me and the same support every single session. Like it's you like you need it. Hey, like when you're as good as like if you want to be good, you need culture because like you need the support around you when things feel hard, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Okay, I want to jump into powerlifting versus real life now. So like, you know, as we've already said, like people like to compartmentalize powerlifting from life and everything else that comes with it. But really, like, we're both big believers in the fact that, like, you know, powerlifting kind of should just be this thing that you do in your life and it doesn't change because it's so heavily intertwined with your life. Like, your life affects fucking everything. The sleep, the things that you eat, the stress that you have. We all know that, like, for you to get stronger, you need to have the ideal environment within you but also around you. And, again, you can't compartmentalize that at all. But I guess what has powerlifting made you more resilient, like outside of the sport, or would you say that life has made you all resilient within the sport?
Like both have like leaned on each other.
Yeah.
Like my attitude out of the gym impacts my attitude towards the gym and vice versa.
Yeah.
I just think, yeah.
I can rephrase it. What about like sometimes people say that like, oh, life is really hard, so therefore like, you know, you must be so disciplined like outside the gym because of what you do inside the gym. But really like it's the other way around, right? Like you've completed your certificate, you work full time, you've been shit on, hit on, pissed on, everything at work, and then you have to, you know, nurture Bjorn like to be able to grow into a young man, and obviously be a wife at the end of the day as well. Like how, I guess like those things being hard already makes you more resilient in your powerlifting training, right?
Yeah, and I think it's not necessarily that hard. Like it's just life.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to wake up and go to a shift and do my night shifts and go do what I do at work. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I choose to, but I can go and do something else. And same with the gym. I don't have to be training 7 days a week, but that's what I
don't usually do that, by the way. It's only just a line up. It's only just a line up at benchmark. Over, keep going.
Yeah, I think a lot of people sort of put the gym and like their powerlifting on a pedestal, and then if something goes wrong, it's a huge explosion.
It's over.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my God. And it's like, well...
You've obviously never had anything explode outside the gym.
Yeah. And I think also this might upset some people, and there are obviously externals that do impact things. But I'm not a firm believer in externals.
Yeah.
I think like life is an external.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to play tit for tat, well, I only slept 5 hours versus your 8 kind of thing. And it's life. Life is an external.
Yep.
Sometimes you just need to have a look inside and sort of cop it and be like acknowledging it. Yeah. Like, oh shit, didn't hit my week 4 because I had night shift. Yeah, that's fine. But that's life.
That's what
it's never gonna be like, we're not bloody what's his face, LeBron James. Like we're not getting paid to be
professional athletes.
Yeah, it's just not how it works. So why have a diddums about it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's life.
Exactly right. Like you're still probably able to afford your bills and stuff.
Yeah.
Even after having a shit session.
Yeah, like.
But the thing is like, I think the people I've the amount of good lifters that I've spoken to in the sport, like I'm talking like a lot of really good lifters, top 10 in Australia of probably a lot of weight classes. Their powerlifting training isn't the hardest thing about their life, you know, because I think they realize that like the training is actually like really easy because of the things you've had to overcome to get to that point. Whether it actually is training related, like an injury, for example, like I remember when you first started with me, you had a lower back injury and you had no fucking idea why it was still around or why it was still an issue, because you came back from your knee issue, but you saw Jamie and then Jamie tried to fix it, and then like you kind of resented deadlifting altogether. And then I worked obviously with an EP to fix it, and we fixed it, and that was probably like a hard thing to do with inside your training that you had to overcome. But since then, like any injury that you get, it's mainly just been leaked in from outside. Like being pregnant's not an injury, but like the body that we're lifting with right now is a different body to what you were pre-Bjorn, right? And then like the emotional toll on working, like that is way harder than any emotional toll a heavy fucking set of squats will do for you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you get into the gym and you do the thing that is so easy and you're like, this is fucking easy. Like everything I'm doing right now is the easiest thing that my life has ever had to deal with. And I think a lot of people kind of like miss that note sometimes. They think
it's not that deep, brother.
Yeah.
Like
get me wrong, there are some hard training sessions.
Oh yeah, of course.
And there are some sessions that like really test your character, but it's nowhere near as hard as the thing that really affects your life, like family, friggin' your job, your income, like a lot of the relationships that you have in your life, like that could be a much bigger impact than what your sets of friggin' deadlifts are.
I think seeing how people react in the gym really tells you a lot about how they are outside. Because it's like if you act like this or you respond like this at work,
you're fired.
What are you doing? Like, are you...
But also,
I don't want to discount anyone, but like, are you having a bit of a hiccup at work and then going and throwing your belt? What are you like with your partner, or what are you like if someone hands you the wrong coffee order or something like that? Like, why are we reacting like this?
Yeah.
It's interesting to watch, but
it is. No, that's a good point. Yeah, like the type of personalities that you see in the gym and how they act outside the gym, like they're very close. You know what I mean?
It's a bit like,
yeah.
Ooh,
And if your personality changes quite big between the two, like,
But even that's,
it doesn't last.
and like even that's telling.
Yeah.
Like if you're going from like a raging monster in the gym and then outside you're all butterflies and everything, it's like,
It burns out.
What's happening?
Yeah. No, that's some good points, yeah. Because, fuck me. Hardest thing about you is, for you is obviously everything that I've explained. But like, if you think about it, you know, us blokes, we don't have to deal with pregnancy, but friggin' hell, you can only imagine like what that would do to your ego. Like seeing your body change the way it does and then feeling the things that you feel and seeing the numbers go down and then the numbers go back up and be at sometimes a harder, you know, RPE than what they used to be. Like that is traumatizing, but at the end of the day, you gave birth to a fucking son and you graduated and you have a full-time job. You are able to pay your mortgage. You have a husband. Like there's so many more benefits.
It's not all that bad.
It's all not that bad at all. Okay. Last question about powerlifting in real life. Has motherhood made you a better competitor?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's helped me be a little bit more selfish, as like I kind of said before, like just mind my own business, stay in my own lane. I think with being a first-time mother, there's, as I've mentioned, like a lot of fear-mongering. Like, oh, am I doing the right thing? What am I?
Nothing is right.
Yeah, nothing is right. So I think like the comparison has completely stopped. And I think Bon helped me with that, because there's no point in looking in either lane and comparing, because what so-and-so does mothering their child is completely different to what I want to do.
Yeah.
And in the gym, why am I looking at X, Y, and Z's like posts when they're doing 6-week blocks and doing like AMRAPs?
Well, you may not even know the context of their training.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas
why are you
I'm doing 4-week blocks and still on triples.
Yep.
I'm just not comparing. And I think that was like a massive thing. Like obviously with powerlifting, you need to know like who's around. But watching, I think especially during Nat's peak last year or this year in Perth, I had a huge moment of where it was like, there's someone doing an SBD day and they're doing RPE 9.5 to 10 and I'm still doing doubles at RPE 7 and we're both the same amount of time out.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, it's like comparing oranges to like a tractor. Like it was just no point doing that.
Yeah, why compare to something that is so different?
Yeah. And I think, again, people have different lives.
I think that came with experience though. Like we've definitely gone through that path of you comparing to
Oh,
people.
hell yeah.
And we've gotten to points where like, okay, you need to block this person right now.
But I think, with Björn, I'm not being like, oh, well, that mum feeds them bloody chickpeas mixed with everything and I'm giving Björn Vegemite on toast.
You had friggin' slow-cooked ragu lasagna last night.
Yeah, that was expensive.
Expensive 22-month-old
But,
baby.
like, you can't afford to look that. So I think that's probably the thing that's helped the most.
Yeah. No, that's good. All right. Getting towards the end of the podcast now, so we'll just wrap it up with some quick-fire questions and reflections. What's your favourite lift?
I'm going to say bench.
Oh, really? Fuck. Well, the other two have been going great. Like, okay, bench has always been there for you.
That's why.
Okay. There you go. It's like a home base for you.
Yeah, and I think I spent so long hating bench because I was so awful. Oh, not so awful, but like awful. Like
Yeah, stiff.
Yeah.
No arch.
Yeah.
Long arms.
Yeah. Oh, well. But it was just constantly like whacking my head against a wall. Like, when will I ever bench 60? And it was, when will I ever bench 70? And it's not, it makes such small gains with bench, but it's always been there.
Yeah, it's
reliable.
Yeah, like we're at a point now where like your bench is just so calculated that we can literally, if we wanted to, we could set you up to bench like 0.5 kilo to 1 kilo PRs every block. But unfortunately in powerlifting, you have to jump 2.5 kilos. So it's kind of like, okay, you either hit something at 8 or something at miss. Like that's the difference between 87 and 90 lately. But you've benched 90 before. It's just kind of like, we got to just like kind of keep, banging our head against the wall until the friggin' thing breaks, and then we move on to the next one. And sometimes we've had periods where like your bench just blows up and everything's going off out of nowhere, even though they're doing the same thing. And I think that's where a lot of coaches can get, I guess, impatient. They just rewrite the whole entire model. But again, knowing how in tune we are with your life and your stresses, we've been able to kind of like, you know, consider that within the whole entire bundle, which has been really good. Hardest comp prep ever?
Oh, heavens above. It was probably the all-in barbell.
Yeah, fuck, yeah. That was hard.
So it was my first postpartum comp back.
Yep.
And I hurt myself, and I was with a new nutrition coach and ended up spitting like 2 kilos.
Yeah, that was a hard cut.
The night before, which was not the nutrition coach's fault. There was like a lot of like my menstrual cycle really screwed us up, and I gained like 2 kilos literally overnight.
Yeah.
And then coming out of the injury and stuff as well was
because it was like you hit numbers that were fucking hard on the platform, right? Like well below, like you're doing sets of fucking whatever right now on squat the weight. I think you squatted 137 or 142.
Well, I know my dead was like 160.
Yeah,
which
it was crazy.
Was pretty.
But like we had to get that comp done so we could qualify for nationals, right? And then I think you went from like 382 or something to like 420.
Yeah, I think all in was 380 or 390, and then 425.
425
in Feb. So from September.
And we're
to
one
Feb.
lift away from Worlds. Fucking Worlds. Yeah, that was a hard comp prep. Just because, like, and this, I think you could probably vouch for this as well, but, like, you literally see that, like, obviously post-birth you're going to be weak, right? And then you can see that you made literally at an elite level, you fucking went from 390 or 380, whatever it was, to 425 in the space of how long? Like, I think it was September, right?
September to Feb, yeah.
So 5 months. Like, that was a really good buff. And you PR'd your total. You know what I mean? You're stronger than what you were before birth already, which is something that seems like so far away in the moment, but like really, fuck it, it didn't take long, did it?
No, and I think the injury set us back, but I reckon like I was super duper strong well before September.
Yeah.
And then hurt myself and then went backwards
it did
again,
derail the momentum.
Yeah, it was... Yeah.
And we can't talk in hindsight now to be like, oh, but I could have been stronger at nationals anyway. But like, fuck me, like, it's not worth thinking about because it didn't happen.
Yeah, didn't.
All right. I guess like, do you have any messages for the other mums and women out there who think they can't do what you've done?
I think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did it. I'm nothing like. I'm just your.
We probably need to, like, I think this episode will help a lot. But, like, we've dealt with so many pregnant women in the gym, like, since yours because they've seen you know what I mean? So I think Julia is a massive cornerstone in this. Like, she's done such a good job to, provide, like, the ethical approach to this. Like, I love that she only needs to see you, like, once a month. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point, like, going back and forth with a physio every single week just to, I don't know, get your belly rubbed or whatever happens in those sessions. But, it's she's been fantastic. So if you are planning on getting pregnant, I would talk to Julia. Like, she's amazing. Last question. What do you want Bjorn to learn by seeing you live the way you do?
I think... This is going to be so cliche.
He's going to watch this one day.
Hi, Bonnie. I think just like, and I suppose leaning into the last question as well, if like you can do it, if you want to do it, you can do it. I think a lot of people fall back and sort of like use a lot of excuses and that kind of stuff. And it's like, why are they like obviously within reason? With some excuses, but it's like really if you wanted to do it and
you make
wanted
choice.
it hard enough, you'd do it.
Yeah. And you don't half-ass it.
Yeah, you just throw yourself in.
Yeah.
Unless you're throwing yourself off a cliff, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
And I just want him to do things with confidence and to throw himself in and back himself. Very privileged position that we have family and friends and that support behind us that I can just throw myself in and do stuff. But just doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just being able to do things. If he wants to go play violin, fucking rock on, kid. Let's go. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll watch you learn. Just, yeah.
No, I think, that's good to hear. I think he'll appreciate that one day, being able to look back on this. He's very lucky to have a mother of your caliber and obviously a father of Sebi. I admire everything that you guys do with him, and I think he's the coolest kid in the world until I have my own. But
okay. Or Sonny too.
Sonny too. I know. Shout out Sonny. But yeah, all right. Well, I guess shout out to your next competition. Where are we going?
Going to the big Japan, which I have not told anyone about because I'm a shy guy. We leave. Well, this time next week, we'll literally be in Japan.
That's so crazy, eh?
And then compete on the Friday.
Yeah. Competing on the same day, you and I.
Yep, as per usual.
I haven't handled you.
You've handled me once.
Fuck. It's so shit.
Twice.
Because, I'm there, but, I'm either, about to weigh in or,
Yeah, you have to be
cutting weight, reserved. I say this to all my, lightweight female lifters because, the way that comps usually work, because I'm on a middleweight category, usually I lift straight after them. I'm kind of look, I'd love to be there, but I feel like I would fucking exhaust myself because I'm so emotionally invested in everything that you do. So I think yeah, I think you've got Jacob and Chloe, or who do you have handling you?
Big Tony.
I made that suggestion because he's from Melbourne.
Yeah, he's a good egg. From Elemental.
Put the Melbourneians together. So, yeah, Tony's going to do a fantastic job. Should hit it. Well, the thing is we're considering it. We have to wear SBD's knee sleeves. Mm-hmm. So we are on the end of it's a little bit harder. But you know what's harder? Fucking working in ED, having a kid, coming back. You know what this whole podcast is about.
Fuck these SBDs.
I know.
It's hard as shit.
But we'll fucking squat in them anyway. We'll fucking sort it out. Bench should be fun. Deadlifts should be great because deadlifts have been going really well. You should do really well. We should fucking win. I think you're 7.5, 10 kilos above the next person from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Nominated first.
Yeah. But we have a couple of juniors coming up as well. Obviously, Cindy and Christine. Is that the other girl?
I'm not sure. Jess Lou, sorry. Yeah.
And then they're going to probably be at Nationals next year. Teresa's probably going to come back. It's going to be fun. Because once this one is done, it's Nationals, right? It's the next one.
Yeah. Big fat off season.
I
might be coming back as a 69.
No, you won't. It won't be. Well, we're having a holiday after, so definitely we'll have to contact the nutrition coach to drop some kegs. All right, I think that's everything. So thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for representing HPC the way you do because, in fact, we wouldn't change anything about it. You're absolutely amazing and massive inspiration to so many members. And I'm very proud to be your coach for such a long period of time and will support you with whatever goals that you have. So thank you.
Thanks.
All right, well, thank you everyone for listening. If you were looking to watch Sam compete or myself, I hope there's a YouTube stream, but
you'd hope so.
Are you on the same time as me or just before?
Just before, and
fuck.
It's 10 or 11 a.m. on the Friday.
Okay.
Here time.
Okay, sweet. I'll be screaming through my phone because if I'm there, I'll fucking sweat.
We'll all be sweating, brother. It's 40 degrees.
Fucking hot. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be a YouTube link. But anyway, I think this episode gets released after the comp, so you guys probably won't even know when we're on anyway. But thanks for listening. Thank you for coming on, Sam.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.